Hey everybody, and welcome back to the next episode of Dialing In for Amplitube 5. I've been diving back into Amplitube 5 quite a bit recently and discovering some amps that I never necessarily tried when it first came out, but have been really enjoying now that I've been kind of having the time to dive into them a little further. And today's video is going to be about the amazing SLD 100 model, which is a model of the coveted Soldano SLO 100 amp. This is a very famous amp used by a lot of famous guitar players, and it's a very popular amp capable of a wide array of tones, and I'm really happy with the way it sounds within Amplitube 5. So what I have for you today is going to be a free preset download. I'm going to show you how it was built. That's going to be available at my website. Also at my website will be the SLD 100 Ultimate Preset Pack, which is going to have a real wide array of tones, everything from clean to edge of breakup, overdrive, lead, with a full array of effects, plus some stripped down versions of those same presets. The one you're going to hear today and that will be available for free is going to be part of this package, just to give you a little taste of it. And also later on this video, I'll play you a demo of a piece of music I composed using these particular SLD 100 Ultimate presets, so you can hear how this preset and the others in the package are going to sound in the mix. So without further ado, let's dive over, take a look and see what we can do with Amplitube 5's SLD 100 model. So here we are over in Amplitube, and I have my SLD 100 model pulled up here. Very simple signal chain. The signal chain in some of the presets within the SLD 100 Ultimate Preset Pack available on my website will have more effects built in. If you do look at that, please check to see that you have the appropriate licenses with IK Multimedia for everything included in that particular preset bundle. So what I started off with here, and this is the overdrive sound, is basically we set off on the overdrive setting. I have my presence here at 3.6. My master volume for the overdrive set at 6. The normal master is not going to be applicable here since we're not using that channel. We have treble at 3.7, middle at 6.7, bass at 6.9, and my overdrive set at 7. Now, one thing I have found with a lot of models of the SLO 100 amp is that they can get kind of bright and abrasive sounding. It has a nice ability to cut in a mix, but you also have to be careful that they don't get too bright and edgy and almost have that nails on a chalkboard sound if we haven't dialed them in properly. So one thing I did to kind of avoid that is coming over to the sort of the stock cab that pops up with it when we load it in Amplitube 5. I'm using this 412 Metal T1 cab with the Brit V2 speaker, which is a vintage 30. Now, if you'll notice something when we come over to the mixer, I've chosen one of my favorite microphones and one that you'll see me use a lot, which is the model of the Royer R121. And I've placed it slightly off axis and a little bit pulled back from the speaker. Because I'm trying to avoid that abrasive edginess that sometimes the SLO 100 can exhibit if not dialed in properly, I wanted to avoid kind of that straight on center of the cone sound and kind of dull some of that abrasiveness by pulling that mic back a little bit. Now you'll also notice that I actually muted the second microphone. I just don't need it. I didn't want it. I was getting everything I needed from the 121 and perfectly happy with that. As far as the room goes, I changed it to a large studio and it's blended in very subtly at -25.2. And that is basically it for the amp room. Just a single 121 positioned where I showed you here. Coming to my little mastering section at the end, this won't come as a huge surprise to anybody. I usually have the little EQ81 equalizer after everything, and then finally finishing this tone off with a little bit of the white 2A or the LA2A compressor, just so it's giving us a dB maybe of gain reduction, dB and a half at most. But I did make some EQ settings here at 100 hertz on a low shelf. I boosted 2 dB to give it a little bit of oomph on the bottom end. I took 390 hertz as a bell curve, and I pulled that out by -2 dB to clean up any potential mud that's there. These are common moves I make and work really nicely with a lot of tones. And I went up to a shelf EQ at 3.3 kilohertz and boosted everything above that by 2 dB to add back some of the brilliance maybe that I lost by moving the microphone off axis a bit and pulling it back. I also have a low cut at 100 and a high cut at 12 kilohertz. Now I'm going to shut that off for now. Now you'll notice over here, I do have the presence down at 4. The default settings were up somewhere around 6 to 7. and way too much for my liking. And the treble is also at 4. So I have those dialed back a bit while I have the bass up at 7 and the middle up at 7. Kind of important settings on this. So without my little mastering section here at the end, let's take a listen to hear how this sounds just with these settings on the amp, going into this particular cab with that Royer 121 into the large studio room that I have put on this. And this sounds like this, and I'm playing my Vigier GV Wood with amber pickups. So a pretty beefy tone, a lot to like in there. But now if I come to my mastering section here, I'm going to put this on, I'm going to take the compressor off, and I'm going to engage the EQ. So here it is without the EQ. With the EQ. Just kind of polishes it a little bit, gives it a little bit more bite, but in a nice way, pulls out some of those low mids and adds a little bit of bottom to it. Now I'm going to bring that compression in, and you'll notice the gain reduction meter here. Watch how it moves. So again, without that mastering section, you'll notice without it, it's kind of boomy. And that just kind of fixes it up by putting that in there. All right, so how does this sound in a mix? Well, you're going to hear that right now. So this is a little piece of music I composed and recorded using this particular preset, along with some of the presets from my full-blown SLD 100 Ultimate preset pack, which is available on my website. In the description below, we'll have the link to go check that out. The description below will also have the link to go grab this free preset that I'm going to have available for download on my website, and you can throw that up into your Amplitube 5 and use it. But let's hear how it sounds in the mix. All right, so there you have it. What did you guys think? I thought it sounded really nice, worked really nice for that piece of music, and works really nice overall. This preset's a blast to play through. Feels really nice under the fingers and gives some really beautiful tones. So if you guys like what you heard, please go download the free preset that you heard here, the OD version. And if you're so inclined, grab a copy of the full preset pack from my website. It'll be at the links below. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it was something that was very useful for you. Please share the video with anybody who you think would get some use out of watching it, and spread the word on the fact I'm doing some Amplitube 5 videos. Please like the video, and also subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Ciao for now.